I myself do have long hair, and no, I did. Oh, not recently. I think I've asked myself this a couple of times, like why the long hair, really? Um, I think, for me personally, in the beginning, it was just sort of I don't really think I thought too much about it. It was just me being depressed, and then it just started growing out, and then it slowly just really, um, because at the beginning I thought I wanted longer hair, right, and then it reached a certain length, and then came the effects of depression, and not really bothering, not really caring about getting a haircut. Um, yeah, I mean, you don't have to have long hair just because you've suffered from depression or whatever, right? It could be like a totally different thing. Um, but mostly that was why it kind of just has gotten to the length that it's gotten to now. Not so much in like the last year, but uh, the year before that, where I really just let it grow and get the length. You know, I'd say that's why. Fucking depression. But the funny thing is, I do actually kind of like it now. Now it's at a length where it's down, or resting on my shoulders, right? Um, and it's pretty comfortable. It can get hot if I'm down, like, if I'm working out or something. I don't have my hair in a bun or like a ponytail. It it just covers like half of my face, right, on each side, so I just have like a gap of so, the nose and some of the eyes aren't some of my eyes aren't covered, but it gets hot when the hair is just down there, and especially if it's like thick hair. It's like really really thick. Doesn't help that much, and mine is. Um, but yeah, I've grown to like it. It's always nice, knowing that I don't really have to bother uh doing too much with my hair. I could just let it down, right? I don't have to do too much other than just take a comb and just run it through my hair. That's it. That's really it for me. If I just can't be bothered. Um, yeah, man, it's great. It's nice. It's it's cozy, if you could say that. It's kind of cozy. And I don't know, man. I think for me, I don't really think too much about it, and that's because it sort of just started. I wanted a certain length, like 3 years ago, and then it got to that length, and then next couple of times I got a haircut. They shortened it so it'd be that same length as usual, and then I think when Corona really really hit, um, I kind of just let it grow out, and yeah, I think I saw it as an opportunity to just, I'm not really gonna see anyone and meet too much out in public, so why not? And you know what? I let it grow. Now it's sort of beautiful. And yeah, but I couldn't answer if your question was why has there been an uprising in men, so many men with long hair. I wouldn't have like a certain answer. My guess would be uh, like a sort of outbreak of trying to redefine what masculinity is, in general, right? Like what we see as masculine, what is masculinity and all that. I'd say that's probably why, but again, I'm I'm no expert in any way to sit here and say, yeah, that's exactly it. That's why I know best. No one else knows it. I know this shit, right? I don't. Um, but it is kind of interesting because I remember when I think it was back in 2013. That's actually 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Um, I feel like that was kind of when sort of when the man bun became a thing. Not became a thing, but it became popular, right? It was popularized, and you know, let's be honest, like a man bun is kind of weak, especially when you look at like a genuine just bun, right? When you put your hair with a bun, it just a regular bun compared to a fucking man bun is just whack. It's fucking whack. And I don't know why it's a thing and why I mean why it's called a man bun. I don't fucking know. Because men can't style their hairs. I don't fucking know, but it sort of seemed like that. That's why. Um, but yeah, I remember that. It was weird in a way to see that get popularized. Not only because it's just an ugly haircut, you know. Um, but it didn't really didn't really think too much about it at the time. For good reason. I was only 10 years old when it got popularized, so that's a thing right there. And it just didn't strike me as anything other than maybe it was just, oh, I want to grow my hair long, right? I don't know where it started and how it started, but I do do want to say that it's I think it's great. If you do want to grow your hair out, you should, and vice versa to women. Obviously, if you want to cut your hair short and try that out, you obviously should. And I think like just in general, this sort of like idea of there's only these particular haircuts, hairstyles, um, for this sex, and for the other sex it's different, right? To limit ourselves to in such a way, it's kind of whack. It's weird that it's like that, and I don't know why, and how it sort of became mainstream to have like certain hairstyles. Because funny thing is, right, that you see all of these fucking articles about not again, this is not me getting political, just a funny observation, right? Um, it's not as I haven't seen as many articles written about it the latest couple of years, but I remember when it was big news, like, oh, in North Korea, you can only have these five certain haircuts, and if you only get that, blah blah blah. And obviously that sucks. You should have the freedom to do as such. Um, and do as you please, obviously. But the funny thing is kind of where when a haircut in Western media and Western culture becomes a trend, it almost seems like that's the only haircut you can get. That's the new it. So, oh, you've got this haircut. Now that's the only haircut you can have, or right, you're not cool or anything like that. So it's not to say any way in any how any way or that. Uh, we in the West are just like North Korea, but certainly wouldn't say that when it comes to haircuts and diversity in haircuts, we probably aren't much better at being accepting because my God, there's still a huge fucking debate on whether it's okay and all right for women to have short hair and men to have long hair. I mean, it's just fucking hair. Let's just make that clear, right? It's just hair, right? It's not. I know it's a part of you, but it's not you. It's not what makes you you, right? And I don't mean to get like all fucking corny and poetic on you, but it's it's just fucking hair, you know. Eventually, as a man, you're probably gonna lose it, right? You're probably gonna go bald in 10 to 30 years, right? I mean, that's not like a threat or anything. That's a fucking guarantee. Um, and I mean, as a woman, I listen. I get it. It's fucking nice to have hair. I think myself, I have, sometimes I look in the mirror like, oh my, damn, my hair is looking fucking dapper. I don't know why I said that, but it's looking like, damn, my hair's looking great today. It's looking fucking gorgeous, right? Um, which is totally fucking fine, right? But again, you come to these thoughts of what am I gonna do if I just all of a sudden just lose it, right? What then? And I remember, not so much now, but it has been a fear of mine to lose my hair because it's such a big part of me, right? It sort of feels like it just puts on a certain look, right? Uh, sorry. Yeah, and I I'm gonna be honest. I genuinely don't know why I had that fear. I do have an idea of it, of stating the obvious that because you know it's sort of part of my body. Then I took the hair right with. What am I saying? Right. So the idea I have is obviously I thought I had that fear because my hair is something that which is part of my body, so therefore it's a part of me, right? But not to get too spiritual, but I do think it's important to sometimes just you don't have to be spiritual to different, but just I mean it's not really that important, right? Whole looks thing and all that. I know that's what we all base our opinions, not opinions on uh at the beginning, but the more you come to know a person, the more you realize that you can look a specific way and just act a completely different way, right? And I don't think we're ever gonna get rid of that sort of prejudice that we have. because that's just who we are. Something that's wired in our brains and have has been for fucking I don't know how many years. Um, but I do think that it's important to actively just challenge it to a way of where you don't just cut away uh, or take people or cut off people, whatever the fuck you do, right? Based on how they look, right? But again, it's a very complicated topic because it stems all in that, like it's fucking wide in our brains. Not only that, but there's certain things that we do find attractive, right? And that is also based on looks. And uh, you know, you just you have to be blind to not like you literally have to be blind to not start off a relationship based on looks. Like that's the only way where you're like, okay, I mean, I can't use one of my senses, which is fucking seeing, right? So I mean, now I have to go on off of anything, on my other senses, and that is listening. So now I just pay more attention to the personality, right? That's not something that you can do if you're not blind. I mean, you could, I mean, I guess you could intentionally blind yourself, but I don't think that's a good idea. Um, but yeah, but that's what I think personally. That's what makes a topic like that so difficult. Is that that's how we sort of start off with creating bonds and relationships and all that is based off of looks. So and also seeing and thinking about like it's so easy to sit and say, oh, you don't have to worry about your looks and you don't have to blah 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 blah. You know, I when it's just not like like yeah, also I fucking get it. I don't have to be that obsessed about it, but obviously it's a fucking fear I have to be too ugly to ever or be loved or to be too beautiful to ever share a fucking real connection because all the people do is based off of fucking looks, right? That's an obvious, not me personally with the beautiful thing, but you know, it's fucking easier said than done, right? Because it's such a huge fucking part of our everyday, right? And you might not do it, but you bet your ass on it that a lot of other people are gonna do, and they're gonna see you and they're gonna judge you off of how you look, right? And all you can really do is just not really pay attention to it. And again, that's how the fuck do you do that? I'm being honest, I don't fucking know. Okay, I don't know why I cut off right there. But it, I mean, how would you how are you gonna do something like that, especially like I just said before, when it's such a big part of what we do, and not just everyday basis, but just if you take like a big fucking look at everything here in this world, right? And it's not just, I mean, take per se, right? It's not just only humans that we do that to, right? A lot of people don't really want to take care of a dog if it's fucking ugly, right? Or to them, it's ugly, right? If it looks sick or whatever, there's some people out there that's gonna do that. Now, you might say, but it's a fucking dog, right? Like, what the fuck? And I'd agree with you that that's fucked up, but you know, it's just a really complex. Uh, uh, maybe not. Maybe it's not such a complex idea. Maybe it's really simple, but the more you dive into, the more of a deep dive you do, the more complex it gets, right? Um, yeah, I'm sorry if this sounded any crazy. This just sounded like a fucking crazy rant, which is obviously what it just was. I just had to get that off my chest. There was just some thoughts, and I thought, why not uh, just instead of sitting here and talking to myself, why not say it into a microphone so I could put it out there? So maybe if someone, I don't think there's anyone who's going to listen to it, but maybe if there is someone who's going to listen to it, maybe you in some way fucking relate to it, or it'll provoke some thoughts. I don't fucking know, right? Or you just listen to like 5 seconds of this and who the fuck is this guy? That's a fucking crazy guy. Yeah. Um, this is my first video, um, and I really truly appreciate it if you've made it to this part. Um, very doubtful that anyone's ever gonna see this, and I'm very doubtful that anyone's ever gonna hear this or want to listen to it. But you know what? Fuck it, right? Thank you, thank you. Bye, I guess. Bye. Yeah, bye.